Now, more than a month after the Supreme Court ruling ordering the federal government to send allocations due to local government councils directly to them, the enforcement of the judgment is yet to commence, with reports emerging that federal government and state governors may have agreed to a 3-month delay over concerns that it may impact on salary payments. Joining us tonight to discuss this development is Oba Maduabuchi, a senior advocate of Nigeria. Good to see you and thanks for your time. Well, we're getting to hear this story about more time. How does this sit in law in the face of a Supreme Court ruling asking us to do A, but those involved are saying, well, we need more time?
There's nothing like that in law. The judgment of a court takes effect the day the judge pronounces it. That moment he pronounces it, it takes effect.
Okay. Maduabuchi, I apologize. I think we need to go on a short one so that we can get to fix the audio connection to you now. And we'll be back shortly. Stay with us. Well, such a quick time for me to have a sip of coffee. We're coming back to Oba Maduabuchi. Good to see you. And thanks. Apologies for that. Yeah. We needed to fix the microphone properly. So, Supreme Court, the federal government, the state government, it's all about local government autonomy, and they're saying they need more time.
You need more time to do what? The Supreme Court says these people should be given autonomy. That day it was pronounced, it must be implemented.
Same day?
That day, that moment the Supreme Court pronounces it, you must implement it.
Especially when the Supreme Court actually said it was to take effect
immediately.
Immediately, yeah.
You see, if you want to delay the effect of a court judgment, you apply for stay. That is the essence of stay of execution. Stay of execution does not mean that you are setting aside the judgment. What you are asking the court to do, I agree that a judgment has been given against me, but please don't implement it until such and such and thing has happened.
Even at the Supreme Court level?
Anywhere you can do that. Oh. But if you do that at the Supreme Court, it will be funny. Do you know why? Because that is the end. Normally you ask for stay pending something. Pending an appeal to the Court of Appeal, pending an appeal to the Supreme Court. So when Oga has spoken,
it's final.
Pending appeal to who?
So is it a case of buying time on both sides, or has the federal government, has the president really caved into pressure from the Nigerian Governors Forum, who always pushed back on the idea of financial autonomy for the local governments?
Yeah, you see, the governors are still reeling from the shock, because they never expected it. If you remember, Ngozi, I told you that this is the first time we're having a courtroom attorney general for the Federation. Right. If you remember, I told you that. You have just seen him act. He took everybody by surprise. Bam, Supreme Court. And the governors can't understand what happened. Because they picked the attorneys general from my younger brother's son, my friends. But this is somebody who we have been in the trenches with. Right. So he knows it. It's like making me attorney general, and we shock the daylights out of the country. The man, Lateef Fagbemi, is a core court lawyer. So just look at what he has done. When this former governor of Kogi was running around, he made one statement, and you saw how he changed everything. Yeah. That is why we say, leave politics aside. Professionalism, like when I come here and people are asking me questions, I wonder, Suleiman, are you a lawyer? Ngozi, why are you a lawyer? But the way you ask me questions shows me that you have read deep into what you are going to question me. And even though I'm a senior advocate of Nigeria, you still take me up. So that thing was supposed to take effect that day. If it has not taken effect, it is because somebody is begging somebody somewhere.
And in this case, what do we do? Because since you say it should have taken effect the same day. And
no, the same day. The moment
the
moment they say
pronounces it.
Pronounce it, that's all.
So in this case, what should the AGF do as the chief legal officer advising the president and the country? What should he do in this case, since they're asking for more time?
Okay, now let me come back to myself.
Great.
I did in 2019, I think. I did a case for the local government of Imo State, and Justice Ringim made an order, gave a judgment that if you don't have a constitutionally recognized local government, you are not entitled to allocation, because it is the constitution that gives allocation. So when you are not recognized by that constitution, the constitution cannot give you allocation. There was no matter, he was under all manners of pressure, and he gave that judgment. And because of that, he was posted out of Imo State.
Huh.
Now, I sent a copy to the former Attorney General. He shouted, he was very, very happy. He said, this is what we've been looking for. So, that is one thing the Lati, my friend, can do. If you do not give them autonomy, stop giving them money.
Right. Now, the issue is not, I mean,
because giving them money would amount to a breach.
Yes, it's a breach of the judgment of the court. So, the moment the Supreme Court has said it, and you are holding the judgment of Ringim in your hands, which says, don't give these people money, then you don't stop giving them money.
But would it be fair to, I mean, play the devil's advocate now on the side of the governors, if they run ahead, like some states have done actually, some quickly went ahead and organized, quick local government elections, where their own party still swept, what you describe as a landslide. Don't you think you need time?
Don't worry.
3 months may not be too long
to
organize a local government election.
You see, the lawyers are thinking.
Right.
If you don't remove local governments from the clutches of the governors, we are wasting our time. When everybody complains there is no food, there is no this, what we are really saying is that the local governments are not working.
Absolutely.
The Land Use Act gave farming and farmlands to local governments. And because of that, every ward has a councillor. So if you give your councillor a tractor, a harvester, a sprayer, and he uses it in your local government, there will be enough food. I have said it here before that we are past the level where hoes and knives can feed Nigeria.
No doubt.
But we just don't want to do. You see, that judgment.
Do you think this judgment is the beginning of good governance?
It is the beginning.
In terms of taking governance back to the roots.
Where it ought to be. Where it ought to be.
Right.
Where it ought to be. You cannot. Now, at times I wonder whether we are really. I don't want to use certain words.
Please don't.
How can you have Federal Ministry of Agriculture?
It's an aberration.
No, just tell me. There's nothing like, okay, if you want land, you go to a governor to give you land. If you want to farm, you go to a local government chairman to give you land. Then you have Federal Ministry of Agriculture.
Maduabuchi, in other words, what Ngozi is asking is, end bad governance, has it started with the local government pronouncement, the autonomy pronouncement for local government?
Yes, Suleiman, you see, the ending bad government means doing things differently from how we've been doing them before. Making sure that governors do not take monies of poor villagers. Because each time a governor calls a chairman and say, Oga, I was given 100 million. He said, okay, take 30 million, bring me 70 million. He has taken the money of a villager. It's not my money. It cannot affect me as a senior advocate. But there's somebody somewhere who needs that money. And when Obasanjo in 1978, I think it's 78, gave us Land Use Act and said farming and agriculture should be in the hands of the local governments. That is the best thing he has ever done for this country. But we refuse to implement it.
Now that's where the problem is. Yeah, power has been given back to autonomy, if you like, back to the local governments,
yes.
Right? What about the practitioners themselves? Those who will be local government chairmen, will they act according to the rules of the game? Will they act according to the constitution?
That's why I told you that
constitution.
We are thinking of the second step.
Right.
The second step is to remove state independent electoral commissions.
Okay.
Yes. Because insofar as you have state independent electoral commissions, then you don't have local governments.
So you take it to where? To the federal?
It has to come to an INEC.
Going back to the center
Yes, again. Yes. There are things that must remain in the center: foreign affairs, defense, and so on. Foreign trade. This is must remain in the center. You cannot allow a governor to decide who will conduct elections and he owns the party. I'm from Enugu State. I was there over the weekend. I came back yesterday. And already we know who will be local government chairman of all the local governments. Because the governor has said so. That is unacceptable. That is unacceptable. We ought to elect our local government chairman. It is when I elect a councillor that I can say, oh boy, we need a tractor in our ward.
Yeah.
And then a villager will come and say, we want to walk on this side of our farms. And the tractor will go and walk. When I was driving back from Otukpo, I passed through Adoka Agatu, and you see this keke carrying tubers of cassava. Very impressive. Very impressive. So that tells you that it's no longer the time where you carry cassava on your head. It is now a time where you carry the keke, you go and pick your cassava and take it to your house. And as I was passing, I saw machines doing gari. That is where we should be going to.
Right. You know, I'm happy you just said it all, and I'm hoping that we all will be on the same page and not have some governors who think that they need more time to really squeeze the local government out of its desired funds. We'd like to thank you for your time, Oba Maduabuchi. Always a delight speaking with you, and good to have you back in Abuja. I think we need you more here. I know your people are looking for you in the